Am I recording? I am. The first video you ever make is probably going to be the scariest video you've ever made, and most definitely the worst video you've ever made. But here is the thing, you really need to just make that first video. If you know nothing about movie making, about video making, I don't know why I said movie making. If you know nothing about video making, it doesn't matter. Just make the damn thing. But you came here because you want to figure out how to make your first video without it being a complete waste of time, without it being the most absolute awful thing you will ever make, without it being just gag worthy. You came here to get some pointers to sort of figure out how to make that first video less terrifying, less bad. So the first thing that you're going to do is stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking it and give yourself permission to be bad. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to start messy. Just want to recenter myself a little bit over here. I can't tell. My screen is here. My camera's there. Very interesting. Don't stress about it. Just give yourself permission to do it. Just give yourself permission to hit record. Now, you aren't going to go out and waste hundreds and thousands of dollars on special fancy cameras, on special fancy microphones. You're going to create your first ever video on just your microphone, on just your smartphone, right? You've got a fantastic camera already built in. The mic is good enough. Just create that first camera, I'm on a roll today. Create that first video, okay? Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to be a goof. Give yourself permission to just make it. Because you can only start getting better after you've made that first video. And if you want to feel a little bit better about how your first video is going to be, here is a snippet of one of the first videos I ever posted on my personal YouTube channel. Let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Heather, and welcome to my pretty shitty kitchen.
She was a sweet child, wasn't she? But that first video got made, it got posted, and it got some views. And here's the thing, you don't have to worry about your video being amazing. You don't have to worry about it being perfect, because chances are not a lot of people are going to see it. And the people who do see it are probably going to like it. Unless you've got some DICKSs in your comment section telling you how awful your video is, no one's going to care. People are going to be like, oh, nice video, thanks. Or they're just not going to watch it. So release yourself of those expectations and demands that you're putting on yourself to make it perfect. Perfect does not exist. Just start creating. The next thing I want to talk to you about is set. Where the flip do I film? Guys, I'm in a caravan right now. Your set does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be influencer ready. Excuse me, bumped you. Sorry. It does not have to be influencer ready. You do not have to have RGB lights in your background. You do not need to have the best lighting setup. You just need to film it. If you are worried about the clutter like this stack of books here that I've blurred out, push it to the side. It no longer exists. Push the shit out of your frame and film. Good. Great. Got it. So long as it's not cluttered, so long as it's not distracting from you, the subject of the video, or whoever the subject of your video is, it's great. Your background is a background. It's just there. People aren't looking at it. Unless you're Cinnamon Toast Ken, who's always watching the backgrounds of videos. Thirdly, lighting. People stress so much about lighting. Set yourself up in front of a window. Right now, I'm in front of a window. I'll add some B-roll of that beautiful window. This is what it looks like. You get to see the lovely view. Just set yourself up in front of a window because it naturally disperses that sunlight that's coming in through the window and creates a nice natural lighting effect. You do not have to spend tons of money on expensive lights, and especially not these guys. Yes, I've got one here just to add a little bit of a extra light up there, but you don't need it. You really don't need it. Ring lights are overrated. You don't need it. Okay? Just a window. Set yourself up there to get good lighting. One thing you want to avoid is backlighting. Like this. Let's do that. It's not too bad in here. Don't mind it. It's not great though. It's not ideal. I'm getting you curtains to block out that light so that I don't have that backlight. But you want your lighting to focus on you. The beautiful, person that you are, that's what you want your lighting to focus on. So you want to avoid backlighting at all costs, because that backlighting also makes you darker. So you're not going to be in focus, you're not going to be seen, you're going to look awful if you have backlighting. You want to have that nice just window in front of you. That's all. That's all, mate. All right. Now that I've had my little say about lighting, sound, like I said, your phone's microphone will do just fine. But if you want to invest in a microphone, don't buy a cheap microphone. Don't buy a cheap microphone, because it just makes the audio quality worse. If you're going to buy a microphone, if you're going to spend any money on a microphone, here is my recommendation. And that's that. Anything from Rode, fantastic. I use Rode mics. I think they're great. And you're listening to one right now. In fact, this mic, that's the mic you're listening to right now. And yes, my laptop is buzzing like crazy. The fan is going, and I really hope that you can't hear it, but you probably can. So I apologize about that, but we're just making the video, right? That's how we do. We just hit record, we just go. Imperfections galore. All right, next thing about you. The first time you record yourself, it's going to be awful. It's going to be so uncomfortable. Being on camera is probably the furthest thing from natural, ever. It's the worst. But here's the thing. I'm a crazy person, and I speak to myself all the time. If you are like me, you might go to your mirror and pretend like you're on a talk show and answer questions and be like, you're so funny. I can't think of any talk show hosts' names right now. Jimmy Fallon, you're so funny. I don't even watch the Jimmy Fallon show, but he's the first guy who came to mind. And you have those little interviews with yourself. I really hope I'm not the only person that does this. I can't be. But if you talk to yourself in the mirror, if you talk to yourself while you're doing the dishes, if you've ever pretended that you've been on a TV show, then, you know, do that. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to the camera. I'm talking to you on the other side of the camera. But in reality, it's just my phone. And it makes it weird if you just focus on the fact that it's a phone. But you see, the whole time I'm imagining a specific person in my brain, cannot describe them to you. Actually, I can, because I'm just talking to myself. Literally how I talk to myself all of the time. But how I talk to the camera, I'm talking to myself. I imagine myself on the other side of that camera, or just as the camera, and I talk to it. And I talk to myself. And I'm very good at speaking to myself. I think most people are pretty good at speaking to themselves, and if you don't speak to yourself, then I don't know what you're doing. Because I have a constant inner monologue running. I don't get lonely, because we're just talking to each other all day. But that's my favorite piece of advice, probably, is to talk to your camera like you're talking to yourself, because it's far more natural than pretending that there's somebody else there. In reality, it's a mirror and you're talking to yourself. And in the same way that you might prepare yourself for a speech or a presentation in the mirror, it's what you're doing on the camera. You're just preparing for the video. The only difference is you're recording it, and then you're going to edit it, and then you're going to post it. It's going to be very weird the first time you record yourself. It's going to be very uncomfortable the first time you watch a video back. We all hate hearing our voices for the first time. It is how it sounds. That is how your voice sounds. We hear it differently because it resonates in our skull before it reaches our ears. So we hear our voices very differently from the way they actually sound. That's something you're just going to have to make peace with. That's something you're just going to have to get used to. I love you. I love you. You're doing great. Next thing, watching yourself speak on camera. Very uncomfortable. I still look at myself speaking on camera. I'm like, oh, fuck. I've been doing this for a long time. But still, I'm just like, ew, stop speaking. Probably people are going to watch this video and be like, bitch, please stop speaking. Don't care. That's unfortunately something you just have to work through. Watching yourself on camera is uncomfortable, but you just gotta get through it. You just gotta do it. And here is what you're going to do when you watch yourself on camera. You are not going to rip yourself to shreds. You are not going to say, oh, I look awful. Oh, I sound terrible. You're not going to focus on any of that. What you're going to focus on first is what you do like about the video. What do you like about it? What made you smile? What made you think, oh, that was clever. I'm a clever person. I said that? What? Okay. Focus on those things. Then secondly, you're going to focus on the things that you want to improve. You're not going to say things like, oh, that's terrible, or that's awful. I do that, I'll be honest. But you aren't going to be mean to yourself, please. You are a little guy, it's your first day. It's okay, you're trying. You are just going to watch it, see what you can improve, where you would like to improve, what you want less of in your videos, and what you want more of in your videos. So an example is if you use a lot of filler words, then you are going to say, you're not plugged in, you're not charging. 2 seconds. There we go. I was wondering why the fan was still going hectic haywire. This video is a mess. And this video is giving you permission for your first video ever to be a mess. Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying before I realized that my laptop wasn't plugged in. So, we're doing great. What was I saying? Right, okay. If you notice something that you do that you really don't like and you find very distracting, for example, if you use a lot of filler words, like I think, so, whatever that filler word is, if you use it a lot and you notice it and it irritates you, you're going to be more aware of that the next time you record, because you then can cut out those filler words and you can make your speaking on camera more fluid and more conversational, more natural. That's the word we're looking for. That's how you're going to get started on camera. You're just going to allow yourself to be yourself as much as you possibly can. Because unfortunately, when we get on camera, we all put on a facade. We all pretend like, I'm person on camera now, not person in person anymore. I'm now being recorded. I must be this way. I must behave in the way that other people behave on camera. And you don't have to. But if you do, give yourself grace. It takes a long time to get feeling comfortable on camera. So allow yourself to be someone that you don't even know who you are on camera. A lot of people, especially South Africans, the first thing they do is they speak in an accent. They don't speak in a South African accent. I know, I did this. They speak in an American accent or a British accent. I still sometimes revert to a British accent because I'm like, well, that sounds so much nicer than the South African accent. And even my South African accent is quite British anyways. Allow yourself the grace to just be a goof in that first video. If it's not 100% you, don't stress about it. If it's not you creating something amazing, don't stress about it. If you make tons of mistakes, don't stress about it. If life gets in the way, don't stress about it. In fact, the more things that make you human in your videos, the more things that make you relatable in your videos, those are the things people are gonna love or hate about it. And if you've got people polarized on feelings about you, if they love you or if they hate you, if everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong. Now, I'm gonna touch so briefly on editing, because a lot of people get very stressed and overwhelmed with editing their videos. And the best tip I'm gonna give you right now is cut your video up. So you're just going to cut out those empty spaces. And with each cut, you're going to either punch in or punch out. That hides the cut. If the cut's really bad, if it goes from you being like this and speaking like this to suddenly being over here and speaking like this and like it's a big change in the cut, punch in, punch out. Like this. Punch in, punch out. And that's as simple as just zooming in the video a little bit and zooming it back out. Easy, simple. Keep it simple. Keep your first videos simple. If you don't want to edit it, don't edit it. The most important thing with your first video is that you get it done. Get it done. Get it out of the way. Because that first video is going to be the worst video you make. Allow it to be bad. And if you don't want to post it, don't post it. But if you want to start building momentum on social media, you're going to start posting those bad videos. And guess what? The more bad videos you make, the more bad videos you post, the better you're going to get every single time. I think it's Mr. Beast that says, aim to just make one thing better every single time. Just one thing. So if you notice something you didn't like about a previous video, well, make that one thing better the next time you post a video. Because you're only going to get better the more videos you make. And that is the most important takeaway from this whole video. I love you so much. You're doing fantastic. Just get it done. Just hit record. Just do it. Good old Nike swish. Just do it. If you like this video, go ahead and give that nice little like button a walk in the fields, take it out for a nice little date, and give it a smooch for me. It's consenting to the smooch, so go ahead and give that like button a little smooch. It says yes. Love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!